Everyone has a story. Some may be good, some may be bad, or some may just be a story. Today, I will be sharing my story with the world. It wasn't an easy journey for me, but first, let me start from the beginning. Hi, my name is Anthonette Sanchez. Welcome to my unofficial documentary, Part 1. I was born in Belize City, and I'm a pastor's child. Yes, a pastor's child. Ever since I've known myself, I've been in church. My parents are both pastors. They both accepted Christ at a young age, and they went into the ministry together. My parents went off to college since I was 4 years old in Costa Rica. We spent 2 years there, and then from there we moved to Panama, and from Panama we ended up going to Guatemala. I spent 1 year in Guatemala and change, and then they moved them back to Belize City. This was when I had the chance to really spend time with my family, get to know my family, because when I first moved, I was 4 years old. So I officially, I was growing up and I met my family. I had that bond with them, and it was so good. I enjoyed being around my family. I attended the Wesley Primary School in Belize City. I met an amazing teacher. Up to this day, I see her, and that's just one teacher that I could never forget. Miss Hilton was really an amazing teacher. She ensured that all of her students learned something. She was strict, but yet still she was loving. So about 2 years after, I had to move again. This time, it was to Jamaica. At first, I was really excited because I'm like, yeah, I get to move again. I get to go to a new country. I get to meet new people. I get to have more experiences. At this time, I think I was around 10 years old. But I was more excited, I wasn't worrying about leaving my family behind. I was just so happy to move to another country. My family and I moved to Westmoreland, Bluefields, Westmoreland to be exact, in Jamaica. We spent about 3 years there. It was really, really good there, living there. It wasn't easy for us, but God pulled us through as He always do. It's somewhere, or it's a place that I can never forget. My mother is a prayer warrior. My mother is always praying. It's either she's gonna find someone to pray with, or she's just gonna go in her prayer room and she's just gonna pray for us. She's gonna lift everyone up. Although things were not easy for us in Bluefields, God did send members who would basically send food for us. They would send drinks for us, ice cream. I even had this church sister that would save money for me in the bank. I didn't even know about it, and every December she would give me the money that she saved for the year for me. And God has just been blessing us ever since I've known myself, and it's just a good feeling. At the time my brother had to go to college, my parents would never give up on him. I think he was going to high school first in Westmoreland, and then he had to go to college. Even though things were hard, my parents would never stop fighting and just push through so that my brother and I could have a good education. When it comes down to education, it gets me a little sad because I still feel like certain things that I should have known then, I don't know now. But in Belize, we have a different system, educational system. So moving from Belize to Jamaica, I had to skip 2 grades up, and I had to do something that they call in the Caribbean GSAT. At that time, I just moved from Belize to Jamaica. I knew nothing about Jamaica. I knew nothing about their curriculums or anything like that. And it was hard for me. It was very, very, very hard for me. I remember having to take that exam a few months after I got enrolled in that school. And I was lost. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what to write on the paper. I just basically went there and I just freestyled it. So if I see a A, I circle a A. If I see a B, I circle a B. And that was it for me. Like, I knew nothing. I just went in there and act like a boss and failed. I mean, I could really laugh about it now, but it hurt my heart. It broke my heart when I failed that test. So at the time, because of my age, I had to do the GSAT. They told me that I cannot wait another year because I had to do it. This is how they do it here in Jamaica. And so I just went and did it, and I passed for this one of the lowest school in Westmoreland. That was just so sad. Like, I could remember how confused, how frustrated I was, because I knew deep down in my heart that I was not going to pass that exam. So going to the exam room was one of those type of moments, you know, like, I'm gonna fail this. I don't know what to do. I don't want to be called dunce. I don't want to be called stupid for not passing. But hey, I had to do it anyway, so I just did it. So after I passed to go to one of the lowest school in Westmoreland, I would like, I told my parents that I don't want to go to that school, because I would see people that go to that school, and you know, I hear what people say about those people that go to the school, and I just did not want to be a part of it. I did not want to be labeled as, oh, that's the dunce set, that's the stupid set, that's the shallow-minded set. Like, I knew that that's not me, and I did not want to be in an environment where people would be categorizing me with others. Like, okay, this is what they're known for. I did not want to be known for that. So I could remember how I would cry to my parents. I'm like, I don't want to go to that school. And like, I was just begging them. Like, at this point I was like, listen, I'm ready to quit school because I don't want to go there, you know. And my parents, I could remember so well, my parents did not stop searching for a school for me. They searched, they searched, they searched, they searched, they searched, and they finally found a Christian school for me. This was when they came in contact with this great institution called Jabneh Christian Academy. I'm so grateful for Auntie Natasha and Uncle Kirk. They have helped me tremendously. Although I was the oldest one there at the school at the time, I still felt like I was doing something. Like, I still felt like I was not looked at any different because I was the oldest one there. I was not being mistreated or anything like that. As a matter of fact, most of the children there cling to me. Like, they liked me. They were always around me. And, you know, that made me feel happy. I think I went there for like about a year and some. And those were the best days of my life. I met two wonderful, amazing Christians, God-fearing Christians, Auntie Natasha and Uncle Kirk. They took me in when I knew little to nothing. Literally. Auntie Natasha worked on me. She worked on me. She worked on me. She never gave up on me. Like, she did not give up on me. Not 1 minute, not 1 second. She was just always there pushing me to do better. She never once made me feel like I was worthless. Even though I would have those thoughts in my head like, oh, I'm not smart enough, she would never feed me with those thoughts or make me feel like that was the case. Instead, she would always encourage me or give me a Bible verse. And then she always reminded me that I am an icon. And that is something that stood with me. It says, I am an icon. I am created in the image and likeness of God. When you click on me, you open up God's purpose in the earth. I am a warrior. I am a good person. I am more than a conqueror through Jesus Christ. Anything I touch in the name of Jesus becomes blessed. I am a deposit of God's greatness in the earth. The name of the Lord is upon me, and I am blessed. I could remember how foolish I felt after I failed that exam. And, you know, going to the Jabneh Christian Academy, I was feeling like I finally found the light at the end of that tunnel. Like, I knew that I could do it. The children there, even though they were younger than me, they would help me with my work. We'll have sessions together where we just come together in a group and we'll do our work. And it was just so, 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 so good. The time came when I had to do the GNAT exam. That one is the grade 9 achievement test. And I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous, but I was still more confident than before. So I ended up going into the exam room, and I remember how nervous I was. I'm looking around and I'm seeing everyone just ready to do the exam, and I was just so, so nervous. I remember calling my mom and telling my mom, "Mommy, I'm feeling nervous." I was just so nervous. I was telling her, "I'm feeling nervous. I don't know what to do. I hope that I'm gonna pass and whatever." I was just telling her how I felt. I did the exam, and after the exam, I gave my mom a call, and I said to my mom, "I believe I passed. I believe I passed because I was the only one calm in that room. Everyone else seems nervous and frustrated while writing that exam. And I was one of the first people to finish the exam." The results came back and I actually passed. I passed for the second highest school in Westmoreland at the time, which was Froome. I was happy. I finally felt released. I finally felt some type of joy because I'm like, first of all, I don't have to go to that school that everybody categorized as the done school. Second of all, I can now go to the second highest school in Westmoreland and do good. But again, I had to move. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to start my year at school. This is one thing I think that has been my struggle, because I feel like every time I settle or try to settle, that's when my parents had to move. And I was young, so of course I had to go with them. I could not be the one to be left behind. So it affected me every time we moved. It affected me educational wise. And yes, this is the type of work my parents do, but I think that for people out there, I think that you guys should really, really be careful. Consider your child's educational consider your child education, because when you do these things, it messes with them. Because imagine moving from a country where I was taught this to a country where they teach it this way, and then I had to adjust to do an exam. I failed that. I finally got there where I was good and I was going on the right path. I passed to the second highest school, only could come back down. I was terrified. I was broken because, at this point I think I was just ready to give up. Like, what's the sense? I passed. Now I finally passed. I'm excited to go to the second highest school in Westmoreland, and now it's like, what was all that for? That's just how I felt at the time. My parents and I finally moved to St. Anne's Bay. At the time, my brother was in college in Kingston, so he was not around us. I was the only one with my parents. They had to figure out what school they would send me to, because they didn't want to send me to any and every school. They wanted me to be close because I was, Jamaica is a little dangerous. Okay, it is a little dangerous, and I was new. They didn't want me to just, be going far for school and stuff like that, so they found the nearest school. So they finally placed me in the Ocho High School. Which, looking back now, I feel like that wasn't the best decision for me, but it happened, and that's just it. At the Ocho High School, I was not focused. I was around people that First of all, they placed me in the group that I would have been in. Remember that school I told you guys about? When I moved to that school, they put me in a classroom with those type of people that fail a class and then they keep them there. So that was the group that I was in because they said that I just moved. They saw that I passed and everything, but that's where they placed me at the time. So I was surrounded these type of people that come from different backgrounds. You know, some people come from broken homes. They come from, I don't want to say ghetto, but ghetto areas. They come from just messed up background, you know. Most of them were like that, and that's the group that I was in class with. So it ended up to a point where I was already giving up because I'm like, okay, like I've tried already, I don't want to try again, and then boom, I have to move again. So I was at a point where I wasn't really caring about it. I wasn't really going to classes. I wasn't really interested in classes. I was just doing my own thing basically in high school. I remember though one thing about myself, and I think it's only now that I've grown I'm actually kind of like fixing that and just, you know, stepping back a little. I'm that person that always want to give people. I'm always giving. I'm always giving. And it's like I'm never being appreciated. Up to this day, you know, I look back on some of the people, not that I love to talk about it, but we're gonna do it anyways. I look back at some of the people that I put before myself in high school. Probably help them with bus fare, money. Even though I didn't have money myself, I would still, whatever I get to go with, I would still give them from that. I look at all of those stuff, and those people now is like, if I even say hi to them, they speak to me like, you know, they don't even know who I am, or like, you know, who is this girl just, you know, coming up, you know, to me talking like they talk to me like I'm a stranger basically. I think that was my weakness in high school too, because I was such a kind-hearted and open-minded person that I just accept people no matter your background. I still do, but I'm just saying that I don't do it the way I used to do it back in the days, or at that time, you know. I spent 3 years in Ocho Rios. 3 years, and those 3 years were the hardest years of my life. This was where I started to get depressed. This was where I got betrayed. This was where my teenage life just started, and this was just where I felt like I was losing my mind.